One of our region's largest free public events is getting ready to take wing. The Wings Over Pittsburgh Air Show brings exciting aircraft displays and performances to Pittsburgh International Airport. It's an opportunity for the 9/11th Airlift Wing to give something back to the community and also showcase the role of the armed forces in our community. Colonel Jeffrey Pennington is commander of the 9/11th. And Lieutenant Colonel Chuck Sargent is the director of Wings Over Pittsburgh. And welcome. Good to see both of you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Yeah, we were here last year. You're relatively new to town.
Yeah, it's just got here in time for winter last year after a few years out on the West Coast. So.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, so you got introduced to Wings Over Pittsburgh when you came. You came with the job, right?
Yes.
Or came with the assignment?
Yeah, my predecessor, Colonel Elwell, had me come out a month before I was actually assigned and get to know the local community and see that event. Extremely impressed. Was blown away at the magnitude and the scope of the support from the community and the project that the team put together and the turnout, hundreds of thousands. It was a great event.
Well, you spent 16 years on the West Coast. I understand this is one of the biggest events of its kind in the country.
Yeah, and I think Chuck probably has some of those numbers. When you bring hundreds of thousands of people to a weekend event, it's a big number.
How does it stack up in the world of these kinds of air shows?
It's one of the top 10 biggest air shows in the country, and by far one of the top 5 top military air shows.
Wow. And just from the total number of the crowds that come to attend as well as all the activity that
We
goes
estimate that over 300,000 people see the show throughout the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is a big draw, I understand. What is the purpose behind it? I mean, it's got to take a lot of work for everybody out at the 9/11 to stage this thing.
Yeah, it's a burden that weighs upon the wing commander to balance our operational requirements and all the training requirements that we have to maintain our readiness. But at the same time, we understand we have a tremendous sense of responsibility to our community, where all the residents live that are participants in the 9/11th Airlift Wing and the surrounding military community. They're involved in their local communities, whether they're employed there, live there, employers are there, and all the civic support. So we try to do our best to open up who we are and what we do and give everyone a chance to come out and enjoy the military, not just the Air Force Reserve, but our surrounding installations, and also celebrate a great heritage of this country of aviation and come together as a community and just acknowledge that and create that fellowship among the community.
Do you find it also gives you a little bump in terms of recruitment? Does it make young people that much more interested in?
Hands down, one of the great recruiting things. If you talk to anybody who's in the military service, most of them will point to some event during their life that really inspired them or intrigued them. So absolutely, our recruiters love this event, and we love seeing everybody come out and learn about what we do.
And the neat part about a lot of the people that are our guests, they're all people that grew up in Pittsburgh, went off and joined the military, and then they bring their aircraft back to Pittsburgh to share their experiences and talk to the folks about the opportunities that are in the military.
Oh, really? It's kind of an event of boomerang Pittsburgher pilots in some cases, or aircraft owners?
It's a great homecoming for a lot of aviators.
Oh, I never realized that. So anything new this year? What's coming up?
We have lots of new acts as well as some acts that have been here prior, military, ex-military, as well as high-powered civilian acts. The newest military act ex-military act that's coming is a group called Heavy Metal, which is a group of trainer jets that are flown by retired and current fighter pilots that have been part of the Navy and the Air Force.
Oh, is that cool? So they do the whole acrobatic display in the air, as the coordinated aircraft and everything.
Real close formation, all flying about 2 feet apart from each other with smoke oil, and it's loud and it's fast, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, really exciting stuff. This year, the event's actually being held on September 11th.
Yes, picking the timing of the event, where it to fall in the year is another challenge that we have to avoid our taskings, but also balance when it fits into the community. And we try to avoid, those big ops tempo times. And when I looked at the calendar and got input from my team at the base, that weekend happened to fall right where it fit our schedule, and so that's what we picked. And it turns out it's on that same weekend.
Well, yeah, 10th anniversary, of course, of 9/11. So are you going to treat it in some special way as a result?
Yeah, we're going to take a little time to recognize that event. I think we have a minute or two of silence scheduled, on 9/11. Just to recognize those that suffered on that day and the tragedy, but at the same time recognize that we can move forward, and we'll have some time there.
Yeah, that's great. As you mentioned, 300,000 people show up. Parking always a challenge. You got the logistics all in hand, do you think?
We work a lot with the local community police and other agencies to work out parking. We farm out the parking to local areas nearby, and we'll set up a shuttle bus service so that not everyone has to park right there at the base. They can park close, and then the shuttle buses will take them to the event.
All right, very good.
Yeah. A lot of good information on wingsoverpittsburgh.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, so there's a lot of good information out there about arriving to the show. It's a good idea to arrive early.
Yeah, and Chuck touched on some great points. That wingsoverpittsburgh.com website will have a lot of great information, because we encourage folks to plan ahead. We've worked very, very hard on the traffic management, which came up last year. But you can imagine you put that many people into a road system that's just not designed to handle it on a day-to-day basis. It presents challenges. So we're working very hard on that, and we've committed to improve that this year. So we're excited about how that's going to work out.
Yeah, the road system, and not to mention you're doing it next door to a working international commercial airport, which also makes this a little bit unusual.
Yeah, and so we have a great relationship with the Pittsburgh Airport out there. Those folks are fantastic, and they're flexible, and we work around that. We just encourage people to plan ahead, so there's no surprises for them.
It's neat. We split the airfield in half, where the northern half of the airfield stays open for a majority of the air show, and the airliners will take off and land, and then in the south half we'll have the air show going. But when it comes to flying the high-speed fighters, we have to close the airspace for safety reasons, so that the air traffic control builds a gap in the traffic going in and out, so to allow the fighter to have the airspace for about 15 minutes.
Oh, fascinating. A lot of fun. A real logistical triumph every year where you all pull it off. So join the 9/11th on 9/11 this year out of Pittsburgh International. Thank you both so much. Appreciate it.
You're sure welcome. Thanks for having us.
And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.